Whenever the word vegetarian comes up, people usually fall into two camps. Those who believe it's the ultimate path to health and longevity, that's me, I'm in that camp. And those who think it's just a nutrient deficient fad. But what does the science really say? Are vegetarian diets actually healthier or are they simply different? That's what we're unpacking today. Here's what we know for sure. Vegetarians do tend to have some health advantages. A wide range of studies shows they usually have lower body weight, lower cholesterol, and lower blood pressure than meat eaters. They also face lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even some cancers. But here's the twist. Scientists aren't sure those benefits come strictly from avoiding meat or from eating more of the good stuff. When you look closely, vegetarians usually eat more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and fiber. And those are the foods strongly tied to better health outcomes. In other words, is it really the absence of meat or the abundance of plants that matter? Now, before we crown vegetarianism the perfect diet, I feel like it's the perfect diet. Absolutely. However, before we do that unequivocally, we need to talk about the pitfalls because there are some, and I have fallen into some of those. Restricted vegetarian diets can make it hard to get certain nutrients. Vitamin B12 is the most famous one, since it's found almost exclusively in animal food. Deficiencies in B12, iron, zinc, calcium, iodine, and omega-3 fats are not uncommon. As a matter of fact, they're common in vegetarian diets. Vegetarian diets are not automatically perfect. Without careful planning, they can fall short on key nutrients, as I stated previously just a few minutes ago. And here's something surprising. Studies have found vegetarians often have higher levels of compounds called advanced glycation end products, AGEs for short, which are linked to aging and inflammation. Yet, despite that, their overall risk for heart disease is still lower. Yet, paradoxically, vegetarians still tend to have better heart health overall. That tells us the story is more complex than simply plants, good, meat, bad. Here's another factor we don't talk about enough. Vegetarians often live differently than the average meat eater. They're more likely to exercise, that's me, less likely to smoke, I don't smoke, and often come from higher socioeconomic backgrounds. That's my background as well. Some of the health advantage may come from lifestyle, not just diet. A great example of this is research on Seventh-day Adventists, a group with many vegetarians. Their health outcomes are consistently better than average. But researchers point out it's not just their diet. They don't smoke, they drink less or don't drink at all, they live in tight-knit communities, and those lifestyle factors compound the benefit. Again, diet is only one part of the puzzle. Let's make this more practical. A study in Germany looked at young women, some vegetarian, some omnivore. The vegetarians had better diet quality overall, with more fiber and antioxidants. But the omnivores had higher intakes of B12, omega-3s, and retinol, which is a form of vitamin A you don't get from plants. Both groups had strengths, both had weaknesses. Neither diet was automatically better across the board. And when it comes to physical performance, strength, endurance, fitness, research shows no major differences between vegetarians and meat eaters. That alone busts one of the biggest myths that vegetarians can be as strong or fit as omnivores. Here's the honest answer. Yes, vegetarians tend to have lower risk of chronic disease. That advantage comes just as much from lifestyle and food quality as from avoiding meat. A poorly planned vegetarian diet, think white bread, fried foods, sugar, soda, can be just as unhealthy as a meat-heavy fast food diet. On the flip side, omnivorous diets that are plant-rich, like the Mediterranean diet, often rival vegetarian diets in health outcomes. It's not about the label, it's about the balance, the nutrients, and the lifestyle that go with it. So, are vegetarian diets healthier or just different? I feel like they're healthier, but I've given you the science, so you have to make your own decision here. The truth is, they can be both. They're healthier when they're balanced, nutrient dense, and paired with good lifestyle choices. But they're not automatically superior. A mindful omnivore who eats whole, plant-rich foods can be just as healthy. At the end of the day, it's not about what you cut out. It's about what you prioritize. I'll see you in the next video.